Hey, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of the Demons Behind Me radio show. Thanks for joining us, as you always do on Monday evenings. We appreciate it. We're here every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're sharing stories of hope and recovery, motivation, inspiration, and perseverance, leaving those demons behind you. Make sure to check out our apparel line at www.demonsbehindme.com. Tonight, we're joined by a special guest, a friend of all of ours from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, where we're based out of. Her name is Fena Foley, and she's got some demons that she wants to talk about and share her experience with that and overcoming and coming out on the other side. So appreciate her courage for joining us tonight. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be right back with Miss Fena Foley. Thanks for joining us. And welcome back to the Demons Behind Me radio show. Monday evening, as always, we're always here to share stories of hope and inspiration, motivation, recovery, and leaving those demons behind. That's what we're all about as a brand. As I said earlier, check us out at www.demonsbehindme.com. We got some new gear up there for you. Check it out. And as I promised, we're joined by a friend of ours, Jacksonville Beach residents. We have Miss Fena Foley joining us. And how you doing, Fena?
I'm doing great. Just staying warm on this night because I think we're going to have a hard freeze later, and just snuggling with the cats.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking with some people earlier from up north, and they're going through the blizzards and all that stuff, and we're like, yeah. I was talking earlier. I was like, yeah, it's like 50 degrees. It's horrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. Silly Floridians. I get, like, if it's 70 degrees out, I'm like, all right, I need a sweater. And everybody's like, you're crazy. That's not cold. That's what I put my air conditioner on. I'm like, yeah.
I could see my breath.
I don't like the cold weather.
Whenever I left the house at 5 o'clock to go to the gym. So to me, that's way too cold.
That's when you turn.
Yeah.
That's about to say you're going. That's dedication right there. I haven't been since Thanksgiving. I'm still recovering from my tryptophan hangover that we talked about last week. That's So I'll get back to the gym eventually, maybe when it warms up a little bit. But
Yeah, just sleep for 3 days after all that turkey.
Exactly. Well, as always, I'm joined here by my partners in crime, Mr. Chris, Mr. Jim, and we wanted to thank you for coming on the show. And first of all, let's just, I know you just from being around town. You rock our gear, and I appreciate that a lot. How did you hear about Demons Behind Me?
Well, it's a funny thing. When me and my husband first got together around 11 years ago, we used to hang out at somewhere called Buckets, and I don't know how I met one of y'all, but I met one of the owners there, and Mark and I met one of y'all there. And when they released the shirts, we bought a couple, like right at the beginning. I still have my old shirt, and I've just been keeping up with y'all ever since, and trying to stay friends and keep in touch and share to all my other friends about what you guys do, what you sell, the merchandise, and what it means.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Fena. This is Jim. I used to bartend at Bucket, so I know that I'm pretty sure that's where I met you and Mark, and Chris worked there as well. Yeah, so I probably ran out to my car and sold you. That was probably one of the first shirts we sold to somebody that wasn't a family member. So we appreciate you've been supporting us since day one.
Yeah, I still have that shirt.
That's awesome.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, again, appreciate the support on that. Okay.
I do miss me some Buckets.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
The beach has changed so much. It's so different now than like what it used to be. Like you don't even recognize it if you were like you go away for a while and then you come back and it's a completely different thing. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But anyway, so what about the brand attracted you there in the beginning? Like, what does it mean to you?
Well, when I first met Jim at Buckets, I had just gotten out of a really, really bad relationship, and I'd been with a guy for like 7 years, and he was just horrible. He just was very abusive, wouldn't let me talk to anybody. If I didn't come home after work, I'd get beat. I'd hide under the bed. I was really bad, with going out in public. And then I met my husband, and we started dating, and we you saw us at Buckets, and we'd hang out at a few bars and things like that. And I saw the, what you were selling. I was like, you know what? That's like my life. Like everything, I had to start over. Literally, I had to leave where I was at. I'd left all my stuff behind, get away from him. Mark took me in, and we've been together ever since. I got a new job. Just reset my whole life, and I had to put those demons behind me. Like, I don't forget about them. I mean, it's a life lesson. It's made me, stronger for what I went through. But honestly, like, it just meant something to me. That's exactly what I had to do. I had to put them behind me, or I couldn't let them rule my life anymore. You know what I mean?
No, totally. And with a relationship like that, something I see a lot of times in abusive relationships is people tend to stay and forget and forgive. Oh, it's never going to happen again. This time will be different. Did you go through that, like the breakups and the back together, and then everything's going to be fine?
I had a great family that's military. They pretty much dropped in, grabbed me, got me out of the situation, pretty much locked me away to where I couldn't get back to him, because I would have. And they pretty much I got rehabilitated by my family. And finally, after a couple months, I was like, dude, what was I thinking? And I'm so grateful that they saved me from that, because that's like the only way I would have survived. I'm pretty sure I would be dead if my family hadn't come in and got me out of that situation. And I feel so bad for other women that go through that, because people don't understand. It's almost like what's that syndrome when you're a prisoner? You start relating to your captor, and you start actually not wanting to leave.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome, they call it, I believe, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to college. That's all I learned. Everything else is completely gone. But that's all I got. That's all I got. But yeah, as a person who went through a toxic relationship too, yeah, I mean, do you liken it to? I did anyway. Do you liken it to like an addiction? It's almost like you're addicted to it. It's like, when you stick that needle in your arm, you know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And you know where it's going to go as soon as you say, "Oh, I love you and I forgive you and I give you a kiss." You know where it's going to go. It's going to go to the same spot.
It's almost like the adrenaline of something really, really bad happening that my ex did, and then me looking forward to it, there being a good day.
Yep.
Is like waiting for that good day, the good memories to come back that almost never do. But it's almost like, well, if I do this, if I do that, it'll be like a really great day, and you get high off of it, because when you finally do have something good happen out of the relationship, it's like very rare. So when you get it, you just grasp at it. It's so toxic. It's so bad.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. The lows are so low that the highs are almost unbelievably high. I also likened it not only to like an addiction, but I likened it like a manic depressant relationship. It's like the lows are low and the highs are high. And unfortunately, you just keep hanging on to those highs and not the lows. And that's what you pay attention
to. You don't see the bad anymore.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel bad, like you said, for anybody who's gone through that sort of thing. It's very tough to deal with. I'm glad you made it out on the other side, and I know you're happy now, which is fantastic.
Hey, it's Chris. I had one quick question, I guess. So being in the abusive relationship, was his abuse caused by things that he was going through? Was he like on drugs, alcohol, or was he just nice?
He was my first, and like I was very naive. I was in college, and I didn't know any better. I was, really shy, and I've been told that he pretty much could see that in me and kind of preyed on me like that, and started that relationship. And it turned out he was extremely bipolar, very alcoholic. Addicted. I don't know what he was addicted to, because I never did drugs, so I didn't know. I had no idea. And he would just lose his mind over little things, like if I didn't cook his steak just right, or if like I didn't come home within the 5 minutes I said I was going to come home from work, or, even going to the neighbor's house to watch a movie with a girlfriend, he would just go insanely, just beat me to pieces. And it was just for no reason, it was weird. And I started blaming myself for it. But then, looking back at it, that man just had a lot of problems. And I was trying to fix him, I guess. And I don't know how I got caught in that, but like I said, I was very naive when we first got together. So it was like just a bad luck kind of situation.
So, Fena, what changed for you? I know that you mentioned that your family came in, they pulled you out of the environment, pulled you out of the situation. But I think anybody that's listening to this, we don't change until we want to change. Our family could want us to quit smoking, but until I want to quit smoking, I will continue to smoke. So what changed for you? Where did you have that aha moment?
Well, I think it was when I met my husband, and I still wasn't quite right. Like I was going through a lot of PTSD, really, really bad. And when I met Mark, and Paul's met Mark, he's a great guy. When I met Mark, he got me through that. He's such a gentle person and very, very patient, because I had issues where I would just act out for no reason because of the PTSD. And he was very patient. He stuck with me, and he built up over the years, built up my confidence. And honestly, I feel like I'm such a stronger person. I hate that what happened to me, but I feel like such a stronger person because of him and what I went through. And it just makes my life feel so much sweeter. Like, it's so nice to be happy for once,
Mm-hmm. Was it easy for you to open up to Mark?
Not at first, but I kind of really fell in love with him, and I realized that's what love was. You know what I mean? And then I opened up to him, and he just was very, very understanding. Always has been over the years. And I've had a few slip-ups for, depression's gotten a hold of me, but he's always been there. And, we just support each other. We're best friends. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, when you find happiness, after being miserable for so many years.
Yeah, it's almost like you move forward and then you look back, and I think you said it earlier. It's like, what was I thinking? Like once you get out of that cloud and off of that addiction, you're just like, wow, really? Did I just do that? And then
like an idiot,
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned depression. I mean, what do you think? You think there's anything in you as a person that allowed that to happen? I mean, is there any experiences in your childhood or anything you could think of maybe that allowed something like to happen to you?
My father was a POW ex-Vietnam vet, and he just was very paranoid, and he was also abusive, which also leads me to think this is why I was with the first guy I was with, is because my father was exactly the same way. And he was just psychotic. My whole childhood was just a mess. And then my mother got killed by a drunk driver, and my dad just left me with my grandparents and my family. Thank God I have such a great family that raised me, because, they got me through a lot. And when I was 15, I ended up with anorexia because I was just so depressed. I just quit living. And it just has stuck through. That depression just has stuck with me since I was a child. It's a struggle. I'm not going to kid, but it just helps to just find things to get you through the day when you're having a hard time. It helps to have a man you love to get you through life, and you just work through it. And whatever you feel like getting you down, find something that will make you happy. Yeah,
totally, 100%. And I'm glad you found that happiness. And I want to say I'm very sorry for your loss, and thankfully, like you said, you had your grandparents to pull you through. So yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point. It's almost like that's what you were used to from your father, so you kind of just fell in those same footsteps. I mean, is that fair to say?
Mark told me all the time that that's what he thinks happened, is the way my dad was, is how I got hooked up with this guy. And I've talked to other friends that are women that have said the same thing. A lot of women that are with an abusive man, their fathers did the same thing to them. You know what I mean? Because you're a product of your childhood.
Yeah, you're right. You're a product of your environment and everything.
Oh, your environment, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing, you know, my girlfriend Lauren, you know, she's had her struggles with depression and stuff like that, and she mentioned some of the same stuff that you mentioned. You know, when it comes to the depression aspect of it, that you know, having somebody there that you can lean on, that you're confident in, that you trust is extremely important. You know, and she tells me that all the time. You know, having me around helps with that. So that's awesome that you have Mark to lean on whenever you getting those sad or you get a little bit depressed over things that are going on in your life. So kudos to Mark for being there for you and helping you get through those troubling times. And the other thing is, when you find somebody that you truly love, it's hard to imagine what you were thinking with the other relationships you had prior to that.
Oh
because
my gosh.
it's
so crazy.
Yeah, they don't even compare. So that's awesome that you guys have made it as far as you have and everything. So kudos to both of you.
And we just got married this summer.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
Oh yeah, congratulations on that. That's good. Nothing but good from here. Like we say.
Oh, nothing but good.
Yeah, demons behind me, and so is the past. So very
good. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Fena, you mentioned, we started out the conversation. We're talking about an abusive relationship, but there's a lot of other stuff that you've put behind you.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that, obviously you mentioned that your support through Mark and through your family, anything that you do for yourself, what if there's somebody out there going through something similar that doesn't have somebody like Mark yet? How do they continue to move forward day after day?
Honestly, try your hardest to find good friends, you know what I mean? People that you can be around that make you feel good about yourself. And find something even if it's not other people, find something that you like about yourself, or do something that you like that will take your mind off of it, like exercise, go to the gym. If you have a hobby, get in depth, put that anger, put that depression, that sadness, whatever feeling is just so intense you can't take it, put it into something, and put that energy into something, something that you can just vent on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
don't let it sit there. Don't just let it sit there. If you just let it sit there, it's just gonna toxify and it'll just take over your life. You just got to keep moving forward. I know it's hard to move forward. You just got to.
Yeah, that's something we stress too. Is not stifling it down, because it will eat you up. It's not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
So have the courage to not only share. But I like what you said about finding another outlet. And I know you're an artist now. Is that something that helps you? Because I know music. Music helps me. I speak a lot better through music than I do when I'm just talking. So I mean, is that one of your outlets that you use?
That is what keeps me going. I love my artwork, and I love it's my career. Not just my career. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. It keeps me busy. It makes me happy. It makes other people happy, which makes me happy, and it gives me confidence. And it honestly, it's very de-stressing to do art. It's just a very, calming, relaxing thing to do. Unless occasionally, my boss sometimes can be a jerk, but I can deal with that.
We all do, right? We've all got those. It sounds like art's your happy place, and that's where you can go whenever you're having a rough day. Sit down and go to drawing or painting, which I know you do a lot of that. The other thing you mentioned was finding good friends. One thing that when me and Jim met, we actually met at Buckets, so we didn't know each other prior to Buckets, and that's how we actually came up with the brand and everything. So Buckets actually helped create Demons Behind Me to a certain extent. But one of the things that Jim used to say to me that's actually stuck with me since knowing him, and I think his dad used to tell him is, birds of a feather flock together. So if you hang out with people that are constantly, bringing you down or giving you negative vibes or negative people, then that's how you're going to feel. But if you're around people that are, inspirational and bringing you up and encouraging you and talking you up and pushing you harder, then that's the type of person you're going to be as well. So that's really good advice. Saying finding good people is hard to do. Sometimes, but once you lock them in, it's important to keep them around you because that'll help build you up as well.
Yeah, once you find people that you can trust and a good buddy, you hold on to them for your life, and it'll be a lifelong thing too.
Yeah, agreed 100%. That's having your inner circle of people that are always there for you and your support team, because when you fall down and you do have those moments of depression or whatever, it's always good to have those people you can reach out to that will always have your back and take care of you. So yeah,
and that brings up something that we created, Fena, and I'm not sure if you've checked it out, but I want to share with everybody that's listening is we've created a Demons Behind Me community on Facebook. So it is a private community where you do have to ask to be let in, and basically we open the door to anybody who asks. But
how do you get in? Because I don't even have access to it.
Well, Chris, you'll figure it out.
You're not allowed. You're
take a hint.
Yeah, take the hint.
But no, we created a community a couple weeks ago, and it's really just a safe place for people to support each other, and it's not just us posting things, it's everybody that's in the community sharing and helping. So if you're somebody that's having a hard time finding that good group, we're always here for you with Demons Behind Me. Check us out on Facebook. Join the community, reach out to us via a direct message. We'll always do the best that we can, or if we can't, we'll definitely steer you in the right direction. But it's all about community. You mentioned that support, whether it be a relationship, a family, a friend. We're not in this by ourselves. We're all in this together.
Exactly, and it's great that you have that for someone to be able to go on there. They might not have anyone to talk to, and for you guys to have that, for someone to go on there to talk to somebody and not have to feel like they're going to be judged or, you know what I mean, or felt like they're embarrassed or something to say, what they want to say. It's just nice that there's somewhere for someone to go talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. Is people are always afraid of being judged or being looked down on because of something they've gone through. But I've mentioned this before, but the power of Me Too, you'd be amazed by sharing and hearing people that have gone through the same thing, and that's what we're all about. And we're glad that you joined us tonight and told us your story. I guess if I had to ask just like one final question for somebody who's in an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship, because I know I went through it. What would be your advice on getting out of that? Because it's hard. I know it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to leave what is comfortable for you. You have any advice for people that may be struggling with that?
What you've got to do is you just got to listen to what all your friends and family or what anybody says. If someone tells you that this person's a bad person, don't try to block it out. Well, I love this person. You got to listen to what other people have to say, and you got to think about how much better your life is going to be once you get away from them, and you're not alone. There are people that have been through this. Lots of people have been through this and gotten out of these bad relationships. You can't let that person control you. You've got to listen to other people's opinions, and there's a lot of truth when someone tells you, hey, you have a black eye, this isn't right. That's not normal. You need to think about it and be like, well, yeah, this isn't right. I don't deserve this. No matter how much you think you do, you don't deserve it.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. I agree with that. I don't think anybody should have to go through that. But, in my experience, you're always you're always kind of the last one to know, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times you'll defend that person to people who are giving you knowledge and trying to tell you what is true and what is good, and you'll defend that person, and say no, it's not like that. You don't know, So yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
feel that, but yeah, we're glad you made it through. We're glad you're great now. You got Mark now. You're married. You're happily married. Things are good.
And he wants to shout out. He just said hi. He waved at me.
What's up, Mark?
Tell him we said what's up, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and probably start wrapping down here for the show. But yeah, just wanted to thank you again for joining us, sharing your story. I know it takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage to do that. It's not something easy to do, and
it is a lot easier when I'm talking to friends. Y'all are my friends.
Well, very good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're our friend
welcome.
too. You're our friend too, and you're part of our community, the Demons Behind Me community. So everybody else out there, if you're going through something, join the community as well. Like Jim was saying on Facebook, you can join the Demons Behind Me community group. Share your story.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, share your experience, and that's what it's all about. And together we can all get through what's going on with this, and make life better, because it does get better. I assure you of that.
It's so true. That is so true. Thank you guys for the opportunity. I feel, even just doing this interview, I feel better.
Good,
awesome.
Good. That's what it's all about. All right, well, we're going to close up. We want to thank Miss Fena Foley for joining us, and we're going to go ahead and go to the Song of the Week, as we always do. Wrap it up. We'll be here next Monday. Make sure you tune in. We're on WBUZ95.com, and yeah, we'll see you then. Take care. Everybody have a good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.